Hi everyone, my name is Katerine Santiago and I am a master's student at the University of Connecticut. I am also one of CT COLT intern for this semester. Today I want to talk about engaging students in the classroom using multimedia outlets. Many of you probably have already implemented these tools or are learning how to implement these tools and skills in your classroom, which is very awesome. Today I will be utilizing short examples that I have used and seen in my Spanish classroom observations. As we probably already know, there are different media tools that can be used to engage students. Common ones include YouTube, blogs, and articles, which I have seen so many times been used as authentic resources and ways to engage students through culture. A media outlet that I have seen become more popular, especially after this year, is TikTok. These tools can be utilized for assessments, activities, and cultural context, which is very crucial and we should always have. There are 5 tips that have shown me how to maximize the use of multimedia outlets, such as the use of culture, inviting students to the lesson, the hooks, and brain break slash closing activities. Most important for me is the integration of culture because I feel like we've been always told that culture integration is very important and should be done in at least every lesson. Media allows students to give and dive into different aspects of culture, such as the food, the music, and clothing. In those resources that we use, some of these things should be incorporated, and which allow the media to play that part. For example, I taught a mini lesson on the current conflicts in Cuba and introduced the lesson with the song La Gozadera and a scene from a movie that showcased the poverty and interactions with transportation, which opened the floor for students to make predictions and get that language input and output. The song offered a great hook for the lesson as it allows students to be introduced to the topic without being overwhelming and in an entertaining way. So that music was very it was subtle. I personally like to use funny memes and gifs as lesson starters to break the ice and get students in the groove of what we're gonna do in that lesson. So usually my memes and gifs have a connection to the lesson. Or if I want to give my students a little break, I will still use the language, but it doesn't necessarily have to be tied, although most of the time I usually do just to give that prediction factor. Um, Obviously, there are different ways that we could start a lesson, but having that hook is essential because it brings the student's attention in a subtle way while engaging and interacting with the students. So, needing the hook is important for that intro to the lesson while also grabbing the student's attention. You always want to lead the lesson with what is the student getting out of this. I feel like that's a very essential question that I've always been told to plan my lessons around. And how are they creating the knowledge on their own through the resources that we're providing them? So, using those media tools and outlets to build on their knowledge and to make those connections. You want to invite the students into your lesson so they have that control. And therefore they can make those reflections. In turn, you will also get feedback and be able to reflect on what you can make improvement on so that next time you do that activity or next time that you want to do something similar, you have that feedback to go off of and make the activity better or to incorporate the same media outlet or to incorporate something new and so forth. So that reflective piece is very important when you are creating these lessons and using that media outlet in order for students to have that student-centered learning, but also that reflective piece. There are great resources out there, such as the blogs that have helped direct me to include more media, which I have seen so many blogs started, especially after the pandemic, which help new educators and veteran educators to incorporate more media and to learn more pedagogies. And these have helped a lot for me. Creating student focused lessons and getting away from those teacher centered lessons. TikTok has been one of those which has been utilized in the classroom in very successful ways. I personally have followed a lot of teachers who have given advice, have shown how their lessons progress and how they're focused. We will be discussing next week on how this can be done, which is really exciting. We will be showing you how you can incorporate TikTok in your classrooms and how students can use TikTok for assessments or for activities in next week's tip of the week. So stay tuned for that. Thank you all for tuning in. That is all for this week tip of the week, and hope you all enjoyed. Thank you.